Hello and good day to you all. In this video, we will discuss on the characteristics of Baroque and Rococo art and also have an analysis on the sculpture that is the Ecstasy of Saint Teresa by Bernini. Come on, join with me as we journey on with this video. Let us start with Baroque art. Baroque is an art style with an exaggeration of motion and detail that is clear and easily interpreted to convey drama, tension, exuberance, and grandeur from sculptures, paintings, literature, and music. The Baroque art style was encouraged by the Catholic Church as they decided that the exaggerations of the art style help convey the religious themes in direct and emotional involvement. This is an art style was also used by the secular aristocracy to apply it in their architectural designs to impress visitors and possible competitors. Baroque palaces were built around the entrance of courts, anterooms, grand staircases, and reception rooms to increase magnificence. Here are some examples of Baroque in different mediums. Two Women with a Candle by Peter Paul Rubens, 1617. Medusa by Gian Lorenzo Bernini, 1630. And St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican City, Italy. Now that we have understood Baroque as an art style itself, let us now proceed to a sculpture that is made through the lens of Baroque, which is the Ecstasy of Saint Teresa. The Ecstasy of Saint Teresa is an example of a sculpture done through the lens of Baroque, from the exaggerated facial expressions of the figures of the sculpture to the flow of the garments the figures are wearing, which are somehow beautifully sculpted to mimic the flow of fabric from marble. Imagine that. Now a little bit of a background of Saint Teresa. Saint Teresa of Avila was a Spanish nun of the Carmelite Sisterhood. In her writings, Teresa would feel God's love, feel the presence of angels or even Christ himself in the state of what is similar to ecstasy. From what is known from Saint Teresa and her divine interventions, her ecstasy depicted in the sculpture was erotic and sensual as present on the facial expression of Saint Teresa, and how her head lays back in her state, with the angel which is seen as bare-chested and opening her dress to penetrate her with her spear. Ecstasy is a good term to describe the feeling of Saint Teresa during her divine interventions with God, as ecstasy as a drug induces pleasure to a user. And for that, Saint Teresa's expressions of sensuality towards her divine intervention with an angel summarizes the ecstasy that she receives in her divine interventions. The spear of the angel does not also represent a literal spear, but also represents sexual penetration, as it is one of the themes that Bernini applied on his sculpture. Let us now proceed to our last topic, which is the Rococo art style. Rococo diverts itself as an art style depicting heroes and martyrs, which is rather popular during those times, but rather emphasizes on the lives of aristocrats, which we can fairly say reminds us of people in history like Marie Antoinette. Love and romance were seen as better subjects rather than other art subjects like religion or history. The art style can be described as having a pastel color palette, having very delicate, dainty and curvy forms and figures, and appearing in a light-hearted mood. If you are familiar with the movies of Disney, it actually depicted several Rococo paintings. To be specific, paintings by Jean-Honoré Fragonard. First is the meeting from the lovers of the shepherds, which was appropriated in Cinderella 3, and the swing, which is also by the same artist, in Frozen. Rococo paintings feature the beautiful and the lavish lives of the aristocrats in gorgeous clothing. Architecture would also be so feminine, emphasizing on the delicacy, curvature, and color. Notable artists of the Rococo art style were Watteau, Fragonard, and Boucher. So that's all for today's video. I hope you learned so much about art, especially the art of the Baroque and Rococo art styles, and also more insight on the sculpture that is the Ecstasy of Saint Teresa. Tune in for more videos. Thank you and God bless. Goodbye!